What's up, people? Eddie Eds here. We're having some technical difficulties before with internet connection and my MacBook, but we are back up and running. And Mr. Samworth, Neil Samworth himself, Big Sam, will be joining me very shortly to continue our chat. Let me get this ticker done. Strange Ways, a Prison Officer's Story by Neil Samworth, book available on Amazon. And Waterstones. And oh wow, okay. Read the book, did an interview, a review of it. I've done several interviews with Sam in the past. If people want to check those out, I'm broadcasting live today from Michigan, and we are at the Neighborhood News Hour studio. So you got the American flag behind me and the MAGA flag behind me. Yeah, as far as that goes, I'm not. Maybe I should just plead the fifth on that one. But talking today with Sam about his new podcast, Real Porridge, and want to plug that a bit. I just watched his video where he talks about mobile phones, and we will. Oh, I gotta send this to him. Gotta send him the link. So Sam should be joining me shortly. From England. Again, I'm here in the Midwest. I left New York 2 days ago. I was with Shrimp Zoo at his crib, and we were there for like a month working on stuff, getting our podcast launched more fully. We got store as well, if people want to check that out on Shrimp Zoo's channel, and actually all of George Webb's apparel and gear that we're making will be on there as well. Shrimp stuff, and then I'm going to have some stuff on there too. So if people want to check that out, and theshrimpzoo.com, you can go there for our hand sanitizer, which we're selling, as well as masks too. But other than that, we're going to be doing as many interviews as we can here at the Neighborhood News Hour. I'll see if George and Shrimp want to talk later. I think that would be pretty cool if we could get a pandemic podcast with George going as well. So south of 20 days, I think, until the election now. So we are really gearing up here. It's the fourth quarter of the year, and Sam is with me. Big Sam, how are you doing? Can you hear me okay?
Oh, I can hear you now, mate. Good.
Excellent. Yeah, much better quality video and audio wise. And I see you got one of your feline companions with you, one of the hairless
yeah, Boo
Boo over there. And we saw Goose make an appearance in our first attempt at broadcasting.
Come on, mate.
Yeah.
Hey, come in. How's it going? Kids and animals, eh?
Yeah. I don't think I've ever pet a hairless cat before. I'm interested what that experience is like. Maybe I should get a hairless cat one day instead of a hairy cat. And you guys have what? 5 cats, a dog, a turtle,
tortoise.
Oh, a tortoise. Yeah, Gideon.
Yeah.
So full house over there at Big Sam's castle over in England. But I just watched your video, Sam, about mobile phones, and you were talking about how we have these ability to go to Mars with satellites, but they can't do like a UAV jammer for mobile phones.
Yeah.
In prisons, which you think they should do primarily for drug prevention, right? Drug trafficking prevention.
Right. Can't give too much away. Obviously, got to keep the audience hanging. No, the thing is, like I said, from my point of view, I haven't got anything positive to say about it. In that, all my experiences are negative. It's very cliched, this, Addy, me old. If prisoners use mobile phones just to talk to family, then that won't be an issue, but that doesn't happen, mate. I've actually, when I was on K-Wing in about 2007, we had a prisoner. He was involved in a murder charge. co-conspiracy. His legal team, the judge, and the jury all knew that he was innocent. He went guilty because from another prison, his family were being threatened and harassed via one example. I actually believe last time I spoke to someone that he'd served about 7 years of something like a 21-year sentence, and he'd appealed it, and he was awaiting the outcome of his appeal. Like I say, I've got lots of stories about mobile phones. None of them too pleasant. I will tell you one. There's a young lad who was a young offender. Yeah, when I was at Forest Bank, he was a cheeky chap. I quite liked him. A lot of people didn't like him. He actually carried 3 mobile phones round with him. You know, your Nokias, maybe the size of a. Do you have Mars bars in America?
Yeah. Yep.
Maybe a little bit wider, a little bit slimmer than a Mars bar. He carried 3 of those around, don't you? Do you know what I'm saying?
Could you repeat that, Sam? You cut out for a second. He carried 3 of them around.
He had 3 mobile phones on him. He used to carry 3 mobile phones around with him.
Yeah.
Yeah, they weren't in his pockets. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Yeah.
Up his back passage,
Yeah.
he had 3 mobile phones.
So he was a mule, right? That's what they call him. I think in America, they call him a mule.
Well, you know, they were probably for his own usage. So,
oh wow,
usually a mule, they're trafficking for other people, aren't they?
Okay.
There was a lad at Forest Bank got put in a coma because he had a mobile phone. He was assaulted. During the morning, when we send people to work, they used to unlock the wings. They had, well, just imagine a big circle with an office in the middle, yeah? And you imagine, I don't know how many used to go to work at Forest Bank, maybe 150 people coming into there. So it gets to where this lad was unconscious on the floor. He was taken in an ambulance to hospital. He never regained consciousness. He was put on life support, and he was actually released from custody while in hospital on life support. So he didn't finish his sentence. I don't know whether he lived or not, but he had a mobile phone. The lads who took it off him during that movement took advantage of the crowd, left him in a coma. So
they were fellow prisoners.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So, you know, like I say, I'll save all the stories for a podcast, but
yeah. And go check out his channel, Real Porridge YouTube podcast channel. Link is in the description box below if people want to check it out. I highly encourage it. He just launched it. Let's try to get Sam to 1,000 subs ASAP so we can start monetizing. So I would just encourage people to go ahead and do that.
I always feel a slob when I'm talking to you. You know, when I'm in this, trying to make myself look like, no, it's not happening, is it? Anyway, how have you been? Like I say, you look dead pale, you man.
Yeah, it's. I mean, it's getting colder over here, so you know we're. I think full swing of fall, and yeah, maybe I should get outside a little more and get some sun. I don't know, but when I was in New York,
traveling?
Yeah, I went to go see another YouTuber podcaster, Shrimp Zoo, in New York, and we were in Buffalo. So we launched our podcast that we got going, pandemic podcast, The Great Awakening. So we did that. We got a store launch too. So we got T-shirts and masks and stuff on Shrimp Zoo store. As people want to check that out. And yeah, I mean, I've been traveling. I was there about a month. flew to Chicago, and then we drove over the last like a day and a half. Well, we just drove to what was it, Indiana? Stayed a night there in I think it's West Bend, in the city where Notre Dame is, University of Notre Dame.
Oh,
And
yeah.
then in the morning, we just came here yesterday. And yeah, we have a pretty big studio here. Aaron Adler, Neighborhood News Hour. This is like an office where I can broadcast, and there's like a couple more there. So it's pretty great setup that he's got going over here. He just kind of started it really in this pandemic. Was and a bunch of, I don't know if you heard this, Sam, but a bunch of big YouTubers just got nuked or axed or ovened, as people say.
Oh, yeah.
Basically just kicked off YouTube. So we have, another channel where a guy like George Webb can be on, because he had, I think he was at 100,000 or 105,000. He got kicked off of YouTube as well.
Why?
And that was several months ago. Why is a good question. I think the last video he made had to do with speculation about NATO troops occupying big cities within the United States to replace our police force. And yeah, I think that was the last video he did before the censorship, before he got kicked off YouTube. And now we have YouTubers like X22 and I think Amazing Polly, who are both very big channels. And I think that was yesterday that they got kicked off. So seeing a wave of censorship, more censorship right before this election, which I think is part of the strategy.
Have you had trouble moving about? With the lockdowns, curfews or whatever, have you been all right moving about? And,
yeah, that's
and
a good question.
What's it sort of like? Are the roads busy? Is everywhere? Did you actually go into New York?
No, I didn't go into the city. I wanted to go see Paul Cottrell there, Dr. Cottrell, who's another YouTuber. And when I go back, I'm going to try to get to New York City, because I actually have a cousin who lives there too that I wanted to visit.
My cousin lives there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
If she ever gets to watch this, Lucy, David, and they've got a little girl, Patricia. She's lived over there now. Oh, I don't know. Maybe been in New York a good 10 years, give or take, either side. So I was speaking to her the other day on Messenger. And she says they pretty much just keep to themselves, still working, but they're not going out or anything like that. It's just work and home life sort of thing. So I don't know. I just, it would be good, to see some footage of these places and what they're sort of like, whether streets are empty. It's a bit crazy. Is that what we were going to talk about then?
What's that?
When you tried to get in touch with me before, we just kept missing each other.
Yeah.
Well, it's not as crazy here as America. However, you can't make an informed decision on anything because, there's lots of misinformation. We keep talking about the press and everything. But right now, they've brought in these tiers. Yeah. Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3. Tier 3 is a full lockdown. Now, Liverpool or Merseyside is on a Tier 3 full lockdown, but the city's sort of rebelling a bit. All the gyms and that are supposed to close, but the gyms, I believe, haven't closed, because what they're saying is it's about people's mental health. They've opened, people have started going back to the gyms and that, exercise, well-being and all that sort of thing. And what's happening in the streets of Liverpool at night when the pubs have been shutting, because all the pubs in England have to shut at 10 o'clock now. What difference that makes? Up to 10 o'clock, you're fine. After 10 o'clock, you can catch the virus. Same as takeaways. Our local takeaway, up to 10 o'clock, I can go in the shop with a mask. After 10 o'clock, shutters come down. I can still have it delivered, but I can't go in the shop. Makes no sense to me, mate. But like I said, Merseyside, Liverpool, Costa Coffee's back. I don't know what's going to happen there. Yo, Chris, how you doing, mate?
Shout out to Chris Brawl.
Yeah, good man. Oh, I'll definitely be meeting up with that guy at some point and having a chat. You know, we'll end up chatting all day about bollocks and that. Yeah, so Addy, I'm doing what I've done all the way through. Yeah. We shop online for the kids, you know, get deliveries, groceries delivered. I still go to the local farm shop, me, mask, local farm shop, not civilized. So I haven't been in a supermarket for 5 months, me. We're not socializing. We go and see Amy's mum. I haven't got a mask. He'll have all that. He'll have one proper suits, won't they? That military wear, you know, if it kicks off.
Yeah, he's got the commando gear locked up in his.
Yeah, he'll be getting camoed up when he goes to the shops and that, won't he? So yeah, I'm not doing anything different. Amy goes to work, comes home. She don't go anywhere other than her mum's. So yeah, it's all a bit. Keep talking.
Yeah, that's interesting to hear, Sam. We're live with Neil Samworth, Big Sam. Real Porridge podcast. He just launched, author of Strange Ways, a prison officer's story. I read the book. It's fantastic. Really dark stuff in there, but humorous as well. Some dark humor, and just a memoir of sorts, really, about Sam's time in the prison service. But you mentioned masks, Sam, and I noticed it depends on where you are, like what state you're in, or even what city you're in, for how strict, for example, store owners are about the masks. Generally speaking, smaller the town, the more rural, the less they care if you wear one, and sometimes they actually would prefer that you don't wear one. For example, I just saw at a firearm shop in a small town called Montpelier, Ohio. They said you can't come in the store without with a mask on. Whereas, like when I was in Maryland, we got kicked out of a Safeway grocery store for not wearing masks. They're very, very rude. And then, you know, sometimes too, like, where were we? Oh, it was Chicago. And I was with one of my subscribers who picked me up from the airport, and she wanted to show me this. It was like Al Capone's kind of lookout in Chicago. Oh, yeah. And we walked in the door, and she took like 2 steps towards the woman, and she's like, whoa, that's, you know, close enough right there, basically, you know, so something like that. And I don't know, it's just like in the big cities and certain states like Maryland too, they're just really strict about it, and just anal, to be honest, really tight wads. And
if you look here, you do see people going in shops without masks. Sam, we need guns. Dolly, you can't say things like that. Yeah, so what's happening, like our local, like little corner shop, if somebody goes in without a mask, they're not kicking them out or anything. It's not worth the aggro. Most of the people are wearing masks. I do it, you know, just to appease people, and so other people maybe feel comfortable or whatever. However, you know, you've got England, Scotland, and Wales, and they've all got different rules. Scotland, their parliament's on about stopping English people travelling to Scotland, yeah? And now the Welsh are on about it. So in England, the pubs shut at 10. Pubs in Scotland now close at 6 o'clock. It's like nothing. Yeah. In Scotland, after 6 o'clock, you can get a virus if you're in a pub. Yeah. However, in England, it's after 10 o'clock. Yeah. So obviously, this all makes sense. It's absolute chaos. If you've got a restaurant, yeah, you can stay open. If you have a pub and you serve food, you can stay open. If you have a pub and you don't serve food, you've got to close. you know, it's crazy, mate. It's absolutely crazy. It makes no sense to anyone, I don't think. Do you know what?
Yeah, go ahead, Sam.
I've even stopped discussing it with people. The vast majority of people are like me. They
Keep
just
going.
they can't make no sense. They can't make no sense of it, mate. It's like crazy. So, you know, like the vast majority of people, we're just getting on with it. You know, live your life or whatever, and away you go. Are you still there,
Yeah,
Addy?
yeah, right here. I just wanted to
Yeah.
adjust my camera a bit so you guys can see more of
Do you know
me.
what? At the minute, for me, it's hope for an easy life. What I mean by that is we're just following the rules and getting on with stuff. So
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
know,
I wear it to be polite and make people feel at ease, I guess. But I don't like people telling me what to do in general. And
have you had a test?
yeah, I got a test in June, which was negative, but now it's like kind of useless because I've been to like 2 to 3 different states since then. But yeah, I got tested. It was negative. So
Well, you see, Amy, she works in the care industry. She gets tested every week,
oh,
and
okay.
one of our friends the other week who was basically in our bubble. You could have two households. Right, don't read what Dolly's put. You could have two households. You know, so you could go in their house. So our friend, one of them, got a positive. So me and Amy went for a test again and both had negatives. So I don't know, mate. I can't make an informed decision because there's so much bullshit out there.
Yeah.
However, with Christmas coming up, I'm thinking maybe if you know they're going to this full lockdown or whatever, I think you might see some people taking to the streets. Me, I really do. I
Again.
think, yeah, I
Yeah.
think people are a little bit sick of it um, because everyone is telling you, so much bullshit. Yeah, Wolf Mango, I agree with you, mate. So if you'd have had me on your program, I'd already planned what I was going to say. We've all got opinions. Opinions aren't worth a toss, yeah. That's just, however, you cannot make a proper informed decision because they're so misdirected. The government are infighting. I would want the opposition party and the government to get together to sort this out, and they're just banging heads all the time, trying to claim points and stuff.
Yeah.
So let's get that out of the way, put it to one side, and let's talk about some real stuff. What are you up to, and what are your plans for the future?
Yeah, so thanks for asking, Sam. I really want to just continue to, I guess, invest in my YouTube channel and invest in other people who are doing similar work, like yourself, and just try to learn from people. And yeah, I think it's a really great opportunity here in Neighborhood News Hour. I'm going to be here about a week or so,
Yeah.
and I have met several of these people before when I was in Maryland for the charrette. And a charrette is basically just a group coming together to work on something. And that's probably the simplest way to put it. But yeah, that's what I've been kind of focused on. I'm trying to not spread myself too thin, because there's a lot I want to get to. But I am working on a show called the Epstein Files that
Oh yeah.
I'm doing research for, and I'm actually working on an intro for that where I'm gonna go over Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell files because I did that. I think it was maybe a month and a half ago when I was back in Wisconsin, and I got really uh, like people just like loved that. Like they just really wanted to hear just the dictation of the files. Where I would occasionally pitch in some analysis too. And
Are you researching it, or is it all online?
yeah, it's not. Well, what do you mean by all online? Like just the stuff I'm looking into, or
Yeah.
yeah, primarily yes. and I'm using footage that I grab off YouTube and Scribd. I don't know if you've heard of Scribd, Sam.
No.
It's spelled SCRIBD.com, and you basically can pay. I think it's $10 a month for almost unlimited like books, magazines,
Oh yeah.
court documents, and stuff. So really great resource there. But that is another thing that I am looking into, and just making sure I have the research down, pat, and making a good intro too, because I think people like it to be entertaining too. So I got some cool music, and I'm making it super dark and dramatic because of what Epstein and Maxwell were doing. What else am I working on? I got this Wisconsin video that I'm working on. I'm hoping to release. I've been working on like several videos at once, and I'm almost done with all of them. But I need to get I got like 3 or 4 that I want to get out very soon. So I'm going to try to finish that up today. The Wisconsin video. I have a general kind of Great Awakening video that's about the pandemic in general, which I want to do. And then I'm doing my pandemic podcast, The Great Awakening, with Shrimp Zoo, where we're talking to anybody and everybody. And we'd love to get you on there, Sam.
Yeah, yeah.
On
Have you had
channel.
any grief? Have you had any, bother because you're talking about it or anything like that?
Talking
Censorship.
about the pandemic, or
Yeah.
any of this stuff, you mean?
The pandemic, really.
Yeah. I've had a couple videos removed, particularly about the topic of the pandemic. I think the one in particular I remember was the 2005 NIH study on hydroxychloroquine that stated that HCl, the H word, I don't think we're supposed to say it,
Okay.
is effective against SARS viruses or SARS-like viruses. So that was, and then I mentioned one of the White Coat Summit doctors from Houston, the black woman. Her name is Dr. Stella Emanuel. That she kind of blew up a couple months ago when she called out Fauci, and she was with all these other doctors. That video got removed. I'm still demonetized. I'm in the process of applying again, and that was July. I think July the 1st I got demonetized, and I still haven't been monetized. But I mean, 99% of my the money I make, quote unquote, is from donations from my subscribers. So they really keep me going more than anything. And Shrimp Zoo, fortunately, is still monetized, but we noticed that as soon as I got there and we started doing more videos, he couldn't monetize anything. And he actually had some videos age restricted. So definitely had some censorship that way in a sense. But I think it's just good that he still has monetization, because the store is up. So the Shrimp Zoo store on YouTube, once you get to 1,000, you can get a store going. And once you get there, Sam, then you can start doing your t-shirts and anything else you want to sell. That's kind of what I've been up to. And before that, again, I was in Wisconsin, and then at the Maryland charrette. So I'm not really planning too far in the future. It's been the craziest year of my life by far. I think a lot of people can testify to that, and they have that in common with me. Like, I didn't know I was going to be in New York. Even in July, I didn't know that. And then Shrimp Sue's invited me to stay with him, and it was just an awesome experience. I had been to New York once before when I was like 12, West Point, and then we actually did go into New York City a couple days. And the Maryland thing too, I didn't know I was going to go to Maryland. At one point this year, I thought I was going to be working in Las Vegas. And then at another point, I thought I was going to be working in Oregon for the long term. So, every time I try to predict the future, I'm usually wrong. So I just try to focus on the next, today and then the next couple weeks with regards to moving my projects forward. So that's kind of what I've been up to recently, Sam. So thanks for asking that. I think I might have missed a few things, but that's generally what I've been up to.
So, have you got any ambitions? I mean, I can see you as a bit of a roving reporter. Do you know what? I really enjoy, me? Some of the people who go out and about in America. I know it's quite dangerous now, But like sort of when they've had the riots and things like this, just sort of getting a feel of the atmosphere, some of these rallies and things like that. Do you not fancy doing something like that?
You mean reporting on
the
riot?
ground,
Okay.
like a on the ground reporter.
Yeah. When I was with Shrimpsu, actually in New York, we went to a Black Lives Matter protest,
Oh yeah,
and I think all the videos are on Shrimp's channel and the Pandemic Podcast channel. Few are on mine. I may need to mirror one or two more, but we got water thrown at us by Black Lives Matter protesters. They're
because
super childish people. Oh my goodness. And it was actually the white girls that we were interacting with that were being the rudest. And then they're basically telling the black boys what to do, and they were listening and just telling us to go away. And they asked Shrimp to turn off the camera, and he did. And as soon as he turned the camera off, they threw water at us, like in the face. Like, it's just like you're 10-year-olds, except these are grown adults, So we did got some boots on the ground there at the BLM protest. We went back a second time, and we got recognized. So so we got kicked out again. Yeah.
Is it a bit dodgy, a bit risky? Were you not fearful?
Yeah, I was a bit fearful. I was talking to Shrimp about that. I was like, it's like if you've ever seen like wolves when they hunt, like elk.
Yeah,
Like,
pack mentality. That's what it is, isn't it?
yeah, exactly. When we got there and it was just 8-10 people, everybody was polite and cool with us. But once it reached a certain critical mass of people, they all kind of turn on you. And with elk, if elk stand their ground against wolves, they have a much higher rate of surviving. Whereas if they run, they're going to die. So that was kind of Shrimp and I were talking about it a little bit. We're like, we can't just run away. We have to like make our exit, deliberate, but not, hasty, right?
2 points, mate.
Yeah.
1, you're not an elk, and 2, there's only 2 of you. That's not a herd.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, but when you see videos of like, a single elk like surrounded, right, by like wolves. Yeah. So there was like 2 elk surrounded by all these quote unquote wolves, even though Shrimp and I are the wolves and they're the elk. And we're both like, I was like, okay, we should probably leave. And he's like, was thinking the same thing. So we didn't really talk about it. We are just like, okay, time to go. But yeah, it was a little, nerve wracking, especially if you've ever been jumped before or you've been in situations where it's like not a comfortable environment to be in.
Once or twice.
Yeah. Yeah, I know you have, Sam. I was just speaking generally. Not everyone has, and being able to recognize that, I think, is important. And Shrimpsu's, he kind of grew up somewhat rough, and so he recognizes those situations too. And so we got what we needed a little bit in terms of some good footage, and we saw Charter Spectrum, which is the local news there for Buffalo, and we tried talking to them. They were not interested in talking to us at all. And what's interesting is the protesters didn't even harass the mainstream media guys at Charter Spectrum.
They're not going to, are they? They're not going to.
Yeah. Why is that?
They're not causing a problem. If someone's smashing up a car just there, then the camera's pointing this side, isn't it? At all the happy people. They're not filming the bad shit.
Yeah.
We know how it works. We've seen it before, mate, haven't we?
Yeah. I think you're right, Sam. And yeah, a lot of people don't realize that they see this as very left or right or black or white and 1 or 0, right? And they were just rude people. They were cantankerous. They were aggressive. They were disrespectful. And yeah, they think that just because I don't even know. I don't want to, speculate, but very entitled acting, very, very behavior, very entitled behavior they had. We were just trying to document what was going on. And you would have thought that we were, capo Jewish traitors in Nazi Germany or something. But yeah, it was fun though, in the sense that we did get in the thick of it a bit there. I thought about going to Kenosha right after, and I talked about it. I decided not to.
Good decision.
Yeah. I thought I might regret it, but then I was like, you know what? There's a small chance I could die if I go, and it's I don't know. It was like the risk reward thing. I wasn't sure, and I didn't want to spend the money on gas either, and food and lodging and all that. So I was like, we'll just wait it out, and I'm still going to add it to my Wisconsin video. And there was another one in Wauwatosa as well, I think a couple weeks ago. So you see these popping up in the battleground states. I've noticed, right? It's not like these are happening in Texas or California or something. It's the states where they're going to decide the election, like Wisconsin, Michigan, Ohio. I don't know if you saw the FBI investigation into the kidnapping of Governor Whitmer, who is the woman governor of.
I know Michigan. Who she is.
Yeah.
I know who she is.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. I don't know. What did you read into that a bit? What were your thoughts on that? I don't know if you got an impression.
I don't know. Maybe a bit of publicity. Who knows?
Yeah. At first, I was like, "Oh, it sounds plausible," but then the story went from a little blip to everybody shoving it in our faces, and I was like, "Dude, this is a spook."
I'll say two words that will bring it into context. Jussie Smollett.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go. Yeah. I think that's similar situation for sure.
Misdirection. Boom. Away we go.
Yeah.
Have you got anything positive to tell me? Some happy thoughts.
I just passed 2,300 subscribers on YouTube, so that's great.
Good lad.
I'm gonna be doing some more broadcasts later today. We're going to, I think it's like a animal rehab for veterans where they can go and like spend time with horses and stuff.
Oh yeah.
So we're gonna do a broadcast there later, and I'm excited to be here with George Webb, and we're gonna do some chats with him too. Maybe we could do a chat, Sam, with George if he's up for it, and certainly with Shrimp Zoo as well. Other positive info. I got a new phone, so that's cool. It doesn't do very good broadcasting for StreamYard, so that's unfortunate.
What is it? What is it?
It's just an iPhone. It's just an iPhone 7. So yeah, nothing special, but it gets the job done. And next time I upgrade for real, I want to get like a Google Pixel because they have amazing cameras, especially night photography cameras on the Google Pixel. So I want to check that out.
Straight over my head, that mate.
What's that?
That went straight over my head. I have no clue.
Yeah. I didn't know that either until my cousin got one, and he was showing me the differences in the cameras between like this one and then the Google Pixel. We were around the fire and we took pictures of the stars. And with my camera, you couldn't see any of the stars, and with his, you could see them very, very clearly, and it was quite impressive actually. But
you need to get yourself a bit of a covert camera, mate.
Yeah,
like one you can wear so you can mingle with crowds and stuff, like a body cam.
Yeah, but you gotta.
If you're going to be going into these war zones, if you and Shrimp Zoo are going into these war zones, then you need covert cameras, mate.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Someone was saying that. One of our subscribers was, yeah, you can't go in guns blazing with the cameras now. They don't want to be filmed because of, I guess, for prosecution would be my guess. Or
well, no one's getting prosecuted. They're all getting letting them out, aren't they? Lock
in
them
Oregon,
up, let them go.
Yeah, in Oregon, they're letting them all go. No bail too. It's pretty crazy. It seems like
it's a joke.
You can't tell me there's not something fishy going on, right? There's not. I don't know, something afoot, shall we say?
Oh, that's rather British, Is it not?
I think so.
Have you been practicing your Yorkshire anyway?
I actually haven't, Sam. I need to work on it. I think
definitely do.
Yeah, it's because we haven't been chatting recently, I think. But yeah, the little black lady who was calling us out, she had like the loudspeaker. She's like, she didn't say a foot, but she said there's some fuckery abound. She's like
Did she?
The white gentleman with the blue mask and the camo hat, and the gentleman with the long brown hair. They're starting some shit. Like, I don't know. There's a video of it. We got a video of it. If you want to check it out, I'll try to send it to you. Maybe skip
Yeah, definitely, mate. I'll be
where
interested in that.
they, where they call us out, and I was just taping. I was like, okay, yeah, she just called us out. But I don't know. It's just hard to understand why they would act that way. You know, you'd think they want to get people on their side with their cause, right? And you know, being mean to people is not really a good way to do that, but that seems to be their MO. It's like
Well, that's why they don't want you there, because
yeah,
you'd film that. The press, same as in this country, are not filming what's going on. They point the cameras. If there's like disorder over there, you know, and it's kicking off, they'll point the cameras there. You don't get to know that, do you?
yeah, yeah, yeah. I got to get the black block, maybe cut my hair, get a mask, just have, you know, get a gas mask going, just completely unrecognizable. Get the BLM on one arm, maybe, and then the Antifa on the other arm, and then get an airsoft gun or a paintball gun or something like that, and then get the hidden camera. Yeah, I should do that. But yeah, no protests here where we're at. We're in the rural Midwest, so you know a lot of people aren't really into that. They're quite conservative, or you know, there's just not enough population to form a movement like that. You know, it's mostly in the big cities, downtown, democratic strongholds, really.
Yeah. Oh
So
shit.
yeah, what else positive that I can mention? I got some great books on the shelf over there. I'm going to get into at least one of them. I'm looking at it right now. Fingerprints of the Gods by Graham Hancock, which I think is a pretty popular book over the past couple of years. I don't know if you've heard of Graham Hancock, but he's a anthropologist.
Oh
So
yeah.
looking forward to reading that. And yeah, so you know, got some great reading material that I'm looking into as well. I am voting for Trump, so that's a positive depending on which way you're
Is
looking at
that
it.
is that a recent thing or?
Well, like earlier this week, I was like, I think I'm going to vote for Joe Jorgensen, who's the Libertarian candidate, but
Yeah.
it would, you know, kind of be wasting the vote. So you know, obviously, I'm not voting for Joe Biden, and Wisconsin, which is my home state where I'll be voting, is a battleground state. So yeah, I'll be voting for Trump. Yeah, but as far as the decision, I kind of made that decision several months ago. I was just, I guess, trying to show people that I'm not like a diehard Trumper necessarily. You know, I'm gonna
Well,
pick
listen.
who I think is best.
The thing is, man. Yeah, you have one vote. People shouldn't get upset. It's your choice. You know, you're not trying to convince anyone else who they should vote for. You should just be able to vote. End of. Yeah.
Yeah,
You vote for who you want. I vote for who I want. Um, should be like I don't know. It's wrong. Like democracy and that I feel is that we are going too heavy is under attack really, and I think in this country the things that get highlighted in the press and that are are not the concerns of the many. You know, so people like myself, like I told you, I'm just obeying the rules, keeping to myself, looking after my family. You know, I have views, but my views, like many, are not being they're not being put out there because we're not on the streets complaining or marching or things like that.
right.
Um,
Have there been protests recently in England? I actually haven't checked out
London,
in London.
London is where it's all happening. London is not. I don't think London reflects the rest of this country at all. What's going on in London don't reflect the rest of this country. It'll be good to chat to you and your mate, Shrimp Zoo. If you know when it's going to happen about the pandemic, I'll have a bit of a look what's going off really, because there's different things happening in different regions, but a lot of people are sort of taking the piss, and understandably so, because it's like you can only catch the virus after the pub shut and things like it. It makes no sense. I can go and sit in a pub till 10, but after that,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
Yeah.
I think Christmas will be a telling time in this country. Once we get into November, heading towards Christmas, how's this? That they're actually trying to enforce that university students stay at university and can't come home, can't
Oh
travel
my
home.
gosh, you're
Yeah,
joking.
have you not heard that one?
No.
Right, you see, I can only tell you what I've heard. I haven't watched the news. I haven't studied it, but I know for a fact on campuses, as you'd call them, there was a bit of an outcry a couple of weeks ago on that, because security on the universities, and they don't have no powers to do this, was stopping people leaving the campus. And I believe the government is talk about 2 weeks before Christmas about locking universities down so they can't travel home. I might not have got all the facts right there, but it's some mad craziness.
And that's in your country?
Yeah.
Yeah. Dang. I'll have to look into that. I did not hear that. It just sounds like they're trying to, like when you hear stuff like that and with the social distancing stuff, they're trying to decrease physical connection and group identity, really, as part of almost like a psychological covert operation, even though it's overt,
Let me tell you this. So again, a couple of weeks ago, I will have a look. There's plenty of press conferences with the government and that. If we're going to chat about it, I'll have a good look, because
Yeah.
I'm not that informed because I keep away from it. But a couple of weeks ago, again, they were saying to people, you need to start going at cinemas, because our cinemas, I think it's View Cinema, which is like a group, they're on about going under, as in going bankrupt and not opening. So they're putting all these restrictions on things, and then they're telling people that they need to go to the cinema. So it's all conflicting and confusing. I don't actually know the rules right now.
Yeah.
I believe our friends who were in our bubble, who we could go to their house, we can still go to their house, can't go in, but we can sit in the garden together or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. If we're gonna have that chat, I will catch up on where we are at this country and compare it. But certainly the university things, because it doesn't affect me. I didn't think about it, but now me and you are talking, I'm thinking. So I'm on a university campus, in digs or whatever, and they're telling me I can't go home to my parents at Christmas. Yeah. I'd just be like that, me. Do you know what I mean?
Winston
It's crazy. Yeah, victory.
He went like this, though, right?
Yeah, I did. Yeah. Non-verbal communication. We're very good at that in Yorkshire. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, like you say, okay, I'm not a big fan of the World Health Organization, like I've said before, yeah, because they flip-flopped like a spawning salmon all the way through this. But they're actually saying now, I believe, that you shouldn't continue with this lockdown because the economic outfall and the detriment to mental health and everything else is going to far outweigh any deaths that might come from this virus.
Yeah, I agree, and I think we're actually past that. Possibly. I mean, I haven't looked at the data, but and maybe I want to do that. And that's something I'll try to do today is get some numbers down, written down as far as and that's the thing too, is like, how do you trust these numbers? Are they releasing the right numbers as far as suicides, as far as
this is the one, isn't it, mate? I do know a quote from, again, a couple of weeks ago. Like I say, I don't even watch these press things anymore. They just get on my nerves. But I did see a social media tweet that someone put out, which reflected what had been said in some of the media, that the virus was the 24th biggest killer in this country this year, I believe. Yeah. And somebody said, well, what are the top 5 and what we're doing about them? You know, so yeah, I'm with that guy there, Jack Black. You know, so if obesity is killing 5,000 people a week, or heart disease or whatever, what are we doing about it? Nobody, for me, is educating people. Yet we've gone to these extremes that are causing people untold stress. You know, it just makes no sense. It makes no sense.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
wrong.
it is. It seems completely purposeful and completely authoritarian and fascist. And what I don't understand is like people who aren't seeing certain things clearly. Like they just like, for example, this guy behind me. Where is he at? You can't really see him. Mr. Trump. Like they just have what's called TDS or Trump derangement syndrome, where they just hate
Orange
him.
man bad.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just it's not about Trump. It's about seeing what's actually going on, and the fact that people are defending Joe Biden as a viable candidate for the most powerful country that has ever existed is ludicrous in every single way. And
It's it is a joke.
yeah, and
Yeah, I'm with
very smart people who and people I know, people I'm related to, and they're just like,
yo,
oh,
Sean
he's not.
Burns.
What's that?
Sean Burns. I love the UK.
Oh yeah,
Me,
yeah,
me too. You know, I love lots of places. Yeah, right. Forget Democrats, forget Republicans. Yeah, just like you say, look at the person. This is a person who, if you look at his history, if we go back to Brett Kavanaugh, right? Yeah,
oh yeah, yep.
model citizen, ripped, questioned, almost tortured, family tortured over nothing. Things that people had no proof of, you know,
Yeah.
hearsay.
From like 40
Yeah.
years ago, hearsay.
Joe Biden, 46 years in politics of being racist, touching people inappropriately, and God knows what else. And people, I'm wondering, you know, whether somebody's dropped some sort of bomb on your country in certain states or homes or whatever, and it's sort of I don't know what it's done.
Yeah.
If I was a Democrat in your country, yeah, I would be crying out to get the best candidate possible. The whole process and everything, you know, to put that guy up there, it's like you said, you know, most powerful country in the world. It's like having Punch and Judy or something, some puppets.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. And
definitely brainwashed me.
months
You know,
ago, when they
I
no,
don't
go
understand it. I don't understand it.
ahead. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I don't get it either. And months ago, when they had still yet to decide who the candidate was going to be, I was like, no way they're going to pick Joe Biden. I was like, there's no way. And they did. And I was like, that in itself, it got me like, it took me maybe a day or two to process. I was like, wow, they really think we are all that unintelligent. Like,
Well,
that's the only thing.
Process this. If they think he's the best candidate, what's that saying about the rest of them?
Yeah, right.
Eh?
Yeah.
Do you know why I quite like? I can't make like an informed political decision One, because I'm not over there and voting, but I quite like that Tulsi Gabbard, is it? Tulsi
Yeah,
Gabbard. And
yeah.
one or two others who seem quite normal.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't get a look in, did they? So
yeah, I guess I've heard that they're just, the old guard is just terrified of Tulsi Gabbard and people like her. I mean, these people have been in power for like twice as long as I have been alive. Some of them, and I think it's a problem that someone can be a bureaucrat for that long.
the media, the power of the media in your country, in this country, they're doing a good job of scaremongering and becoming, yeah, they have lost their power to be rational people. People aren't free thinkers anymore. Yeah. So you look in your country, a lot of the states, the worst states, and there is some shitholes, isn't there, mate? Which I feel sorry for the people who live there, because the people who are voting to keep these people in, these mayors and governors, are the ones who are living in the worst conditions, aren't they?
Yeah.
If I was living in poverty and I've had the same party, governors, mayor forever, I'd be looking to vote somewhere else, me. But I did see a little bit on not Nancy Pelosi, one of the black Democrats, the one who wants everyone to go out and kill someone.
Oh, is that the Muslim woman?
No, 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 no.
It's not AOC, is it?
No. She's been there a long time. Getting on a bit in years.
Oh, not Cynthia McKinney, not Condoleezza Rice. No, she's Republican.
No.
Susan Rice?
No. Her name's going to come to me in a minute. She's awful, some of the things she says. She's inciting riots and that all the time. But
Kamala Harris.
No. The other one. There's one more. She's a lot older than Kamala Harris.
Okay.
But I saw a short clip on YouTube for the guy who is running in her whatever district against her. And he went through the district, he went on the streets, all the poverty, the needles, showed just how run down it were, how destitute it were, Skid Row. And then he went to her mansion. She's living in this, I don't know, £12 million mansion. She's never lived in that district. Yet she's the person who's been voted in for the last God knows however long. I don't understand.
Yeah. What city was that? Do you remember?
Next time I come on, I'll say a name and you'll know straight away. Okay. It's on the tip of my tongue. But in this country, the Conservatives got in on the back of the vote from up north where I am, because people, they were fed up with situation or whatever. So, as you know, our last election, there was massive change in voter loyalty or whatever. It might only be a one-off or whatever. However,
people going from Labour to Tory.
However, what I do remember about politics as I was growing up is when there was a crisis, everyone came together in Parliament. So the opposition parties worked together. Now, just like you going to your Black Lives Matter rally where somebody chucked water in your face, it's childish. Yeah. It's like trying to get one over each other. It's like they have no concern of what's happening outside. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it is. And let's find a positive note to end on. How about can we talk again soon, Sam? Is that a positive note?
Yeah, of course we can, mate. Okay. Whenever you want.
Awesome.
I mean, you've only let me down about 5 times. I know you're a busy lad. Yeah, whenever you want to talk, mate. What day is it today? Friday. Do you want to talk right. Sunday morning?
Yeah, let's try to shoot for that. Maybe we can get Shrimp Zoo to join us.
That
would be cool. Today is Friday, the 16th of October, south of 20 days to the election. And this was a conversation with Big Sam Samworth, former prison guard, current author.
In Yorkshire. In Yorkshire.
In Yorkshire.
Oh my
He's
God!
a
Come
Yorkshireman.
on.
And we'll be chatting again sometime this weekend, folks. Please go and give him a subscription on the
Real
podcast channel.
Podcast. If you put that into YouTube, Real Porridge Podcast, it'll come up.
Okay, excellent.
I'm just uploading as we speak my first episode on mental health.
Excellent, awesome. That's great. So that'll be up sometime today, you think, or tomorrow?
In the next couple of hours.
Sweet. Okay. Okay. Sweet. That's awesome. Let's give Sam some subs, and we can go check out his new content that he's got releasing today. Could I get one of those? Are you selling the T-shirts yet, Sam? Because I want to buy one of those T-shirts.
I'll send you one.
Oh wow! Thank you, Sam. Yeah, I'll
Listen,
send you
send me your address. I'll send you one. What I'm doing, Addy, right? I'm going to get the channel up and running. Going to get my website done. I've concentrated on getting the channel up and running. I will be selling merch. My plans are to use the funds from that to make sort of short films type documentaries. Just keep them real, on the sofa, on mental health and the like. You know, I'm going to stay on that path. I've connected with so many people who, you know, are living daily. You know, mental health goes from somebody who's stressing right now because they're going to lose their job and they've got no money, to people who've lived with diagnosed mental health for years. But I'm on the case. That is, it's a big thing. So if we can help people, that's what I want to do.
Excellent, fantastic.
Better
Sam.
understanding.
You got my support 100%, Sam. I really am appreciative of you talking to me in the first place, and all the.
And so you should be. And so you should be, mate. Okay.
Big Sam's Samworth's prison guard demeanor coming out there for a second. Oh, you're talking about Maxine Waters? Is that who it was? Who was running?
Yeah, thank you very much.
Okay.
Connie Bevan, bless you, sweet.
Okay.
Yeah, they're the ones. Thank you very much, love. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, Connie.
You know, the woman doesn't, you know, she don't give a shit. She doesn't even live there. So get a grip. Yeah, I saw that Joe Collins. I'll tell you what a nice guy. You know, and if somebody like him got in and made a difference, then yeah, I'd vote for him from Yorkshire.
Awesome. All right, guys. We'll see you guys all Sunday, and
yeah,
I'm gonna send you my address via Twitter. Is that okay, Sam? So I can get
of course it is, mate.
Sweet, awesome. Stay
lovely to catch up. Yeah.
Oh yeah, excellent, Sam. And
okay.
We'll see everybody next time.
Take it easy, dude. Speak soon, yeah?
Okay. Talk to you soon, Sam. Cheers.
Bye.